Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today I'm going to be tying for you a variant on my MF Jig. So the MF Jig I tied, it's on the channel. It was the same tail, same thread body with a wire wrap with it, Sally Hansen's on it. And on the other one I used brown ostrich herl. This time I'm going to use something a little different. This is going to be the MF chocolate. So we'll start this fly out. This is on a jig hook with a tungsten bead, and I like to use a little bit of lead in order to seat that bead where it needs to go. I use just about 5 wraps. It does help build that taper for me, but it also makes sure that bead is going to get seated up on that eye of the hook. Now I'm going to use UTC Ultra in 140. This is just brown. Start it right behind that lead. Bring it down till we get to the bend. And I'm going to use a brown Partridge. So I want one that's got some brown in it. I'm going to take, what's that, 10 or so fibers. Get them lined up. Pull them from the feather. And just get one wrap on there and give it a look. Looks just a little long for my liking, so I'll take a little off. After that first wrap, second wrap, I'm going to go under, up, and that's going to kick that tail up. And then I make another wrap right there, a little half wrap to hold that thread where I want it. And I'm going to take some, what is this, UTC Ultra wire in small. I'm going to go ahead and start that's exactly where I want it. That's going to help me build my thread dam up to that wire. It's going to go up and back down, start to build that taper, and this will carry that wire over to the far side. Now as I build this body, just like I did with the MF Jig, I'm going to unspin my bobbin, so that's going to go counterclockwise in order to keep this UTC nice and flat. Then as I continue to build, I'm going to leave that little bit of a gap right up behind the bead for room later. And as I get this taper exactly the way I want it, which it's getting there, it's getting there, just a little bit more right up in here. You can see my thread wants to cord back up, so I unspin it. I get that taper right where I want it. I'm going to take my wire, do nice open spirals. Usually just about 4 or 5. Do 3 turns, helicopter the wire out, and then throw a little 3-turn whip finish. Now normally I sit down and I tie a bunch of these, and I'll get them all to this almost to this stage, because I'm going to cover this with some Sally Hansen's hard as nails. And then what I'll do is I'll set this fly to the side to dry. This helps protect that wire from wanting to slip around, or any of those trout teeth from wanting to fray any of that thread work. Then from there, I have one that's already dried, so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to go back to that 140 and start it back up here. Now the dubbing that I'm going to use is Arizona Semi-Seal in dark brown. And just get a little tuft of this. Don't need much because we're just going to pretty much build a collar. Maybe a little much. Let's see. Took a little off. I'm going to kind of stretch it onto this thread because it's a pretty long fiber. Come back just a little bit. Pull and come down on it a little bit more. Perfect. And then do another little whip finish. Usually throw a couple of them on there. And I like to throw a little shot of head cement right into that little hole. And then there you go. You can pick that dubbing out if you want. Doesn't really matter. Usually it comes out on its own a little bit, but I'll give it a little pick. I don't like it too crazy. It's going to be crazy anywhere. I want it to be on what will be the bottom of the fly, whereas the top I don't really want too much. And then that's it. That is the MF chocolate. This is one of my brother's favorite flies that I've come up with. He had a pretty good day, a couple of days with this fly, and he really likes it. So I tied it up for him, and now it's on YouTube. Thank you guys. Have a good one.